Today is still February 22nd, 2025, and I am at Maplewood State Park in Otter Tail County, Minnesota.
Arrived.
Okay, we made it to Maplewood. Went to Glendalough earlier today. Now we're at Maplewood. I think, so I talked to the lady in the park office and she suggested we try looking at Holloway Hill Overlook. So that's the parking lot we're at now. It kind of looks like Leda Lake. So that'll be fun. There's also a candlelight ceremony today. I don't think I'll be able to stay for it because I need to go home and feed the cat. But that's it. Let's get going. Okay, so we are going, so here we have our map, and then we're here. So we're gonna go up here to the overlook, and then maybe if we want, we'll do a little bit of this trail here if there's time. Only thing I'm concerned about is daylight. Not that the sun's setting, you know, like at 5 anymore, but like it's not that much later. So I don't want to be here for too long because of that. It's just hard when you're doing 2 parks in one day, you don't get to spend as much time at either. But second, so I do have to make sure I get home to feed my cat. So we might end up just doing the overlook, which will be like a little sad that I won't get to spend more time here, but you know what? I can always come back a different day. A different year, probably. The thing fun about being out when it's like snowy is that I can see a lot more tracks than like you normally would be able to in the summer. The only thing is half the time I'm like, I think those are just dog tracks. Because you can have dogs here as long as, you know, they're on a leash with you. So I'm like, well, I'd love to show these animal tracks, but I don't think they're anything like fun or natural here. That's just a puppy. Named after the native maple forest, this land has been inhabited for thousands of years, originally by the Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, depends on the dialect. Although, a fun fact I will bring up, this isn't in my script, I'm freestyling. If you're thinking, oh, I thought this area was Sioux, you're not incorrect. However, Sioux was actually a name given to the Dakota people by the Ojibwe people, the other main native group in Minnesota. And it was an insult. It means little snake, essentially, because they didn't get along. So, yes, Sioux, but it's not Dakota is the one that you would use. That was a tangent. However, getting back to the script, the idea of having a state park here goes back 100 years. It was first suggested in 1923, although it didn't actually see realization until the 1960s, 1963, when it passed in the Minnesota legislature to create a park here. The park lies in the Leaf Hills region, the eastern edge of the Red River Valley. It is home to 8 major lakes, like we mentioned, Lake Holloway and then Lake Leda right here. Lake Leda being probably the most prominent one, although you also have like Cataract Lake, Beaver Lake, there's tons that are here. It's also home to many wildlife species. But not all are beaver, raccoons, squirrels, rabbits, and chipmunks, as well as 150 species of birds, 50 species of mammals, and 25 kinds of reptiles and amphibians. It is also host to colonial nesting birds, butterflies, dragonflies, kingbirds, swallows, cuckoos, cerulean warblers, and blue-gray gnatcatchers. I've never heard of blue-gray gnatcatchers, but I'm going to assume they're a blue-gray bird that eats gnats. It's a pretty succinct name. Additionally, this park has many wildflowers in cross spring through fall, which I definitely can see now. I'm like, whoa, this would be like, there's these like just kind of like dead yellowy brown parts, and I'm like, whoa, that is probably amazing when it's in bloom. In addition to obviously its gorgeous fall colors, which it is kind of named after in Maplewood. If you're thinking of the nearest town, it'd probably be Pelican Rapids. It's like 6 miles away. However, if you are planning a visit and you are elsewhere in the state, it is 135 miles from St. Cloud, 204 miles from Duluth, and 206 miles from the Twin Cities. We're not even at the top yet, and this is still beautiful. There's also apparently a candlelight ceremony down at Cataract Lake, which is one of like 8 that there are at this park. But unfortunately, I didn't know about it until I got here. She was like, "Oh, so did you know there's this thing?" And I was like, "Ah, that's so exciting! I can't go." I think we're just gonna mosey on over. We'll take our time on the hike, but we probably won't spend too much extra time here. Look at these cute little red berries on these trees. It reminds me of like a witch's forest or something. I don't know if you can see it like through the trees, but like the hills on the other side of that lake. It's really pretty to see. Like, I don't know if this is okay, here. This is clearly deer prints. This is a deer trail. I am not gonna go trample their stuff to try and get a better shot of that. But let's see if we can get something better from over here. There's just like a picnic table here, so that's fun. Someone drew a heart. Cute. Can you see it? Okay, now you can see it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, this is one that was in the snow, so we can see these berries a little bit better. Anyway, putting it back, because, you know, I'm not allowed to like collect berries. That's what's on all these branches here. So like, yep. The sky is so clear today. Like, you can see so far out. Like, it's hard to judge, I feel like, through a screen, but it's so far out. Like, that's 2 times zoom and it still looks so far away, because it is. I think that I feel like Minnesota, we have a lot of like rolling hills. We don't have mountains, obviously. You know, that's not how the tectonic plate crumbled. So we have like, you know, so many lakes and like hills and things because once upon a time we had glaciers that carved them out, and before that we had, you know, we were a shallow sea in the early eons of Earth. So that's kind of the way we get our topography, but I feel like we don't get enough credit for how many actual like real like it is. Look at that. The lake and then like the hill. It's, yeah, I understand it's not like a huge mountain, but it is still pretty, especially it's harder to see right now in the fall. It's really pretty because all those trees that are like brown right now turn colors, which is, you know, we're in Maplewood State Park. Most of the stuff around us is maples and they turn really pretty, but point being, anyway, that lake though, right there, that is Holloway Lake, what the outlook is named after. And then the big one on the other side is Leda Lake, but we'll get a better look at it from further up later on. That's all Lake Leda. I feel like if it were summer, it'd be easy to be like, oh, that's all water. It's covered in snow right now because it's frozen over, but she's so pretty. You can see the little ice fishing house down there. Someone's trying to get some fish. Record, like all that over there, as far as I'm aware, still Leda Lake. Like that, Leda goes all the way down there. She's a big lake. Not to be confused with the Big Lake, of which there are like several in Minnesota, you know, a million big lakes, round lakes, square lakes, clear lake, muddy lake, you know. There's lots of lakes share those names, so it's just one of those, Ooh, there's that island I saw on the map. Hold on. So there's this island here on the map, and I think that big old hill right there, I think that's that island. Final thoughts on the park. Really enjoyed it. Wish I'd come in fall, but you know what? Still pretty even in the winter. For sure we'll come back sometime. Scripts. I don't remember. remember the fuck I'm saying. Oh, amazing grace. Good lord.